Hey everyone! One of the questions that blacksmiths get asked the most is why do blacksmiths tap their hammer on the anvil between blows, or when they're forging, or when they're just standing there? And for blacksmiths this is not very easy to answer because it is a very natural thing to do. You know, if you forge for some while, you will pretty much do it automatically. Just like, you know, you don't have to know how to explain, you know, the metabolism with the blood cells and the muscles and everything to start breathing when you leave the uterus at birth. And it's kind of the same with tapping the hammer on the anvil with blacksmithing. But it basically comes down to three basic reasons. The first one is rhythm. You want to keep a certain steady rhythm when forging, you know. If you listen to fairly experienced blacksmiths forge, they always have a very good rhythm when they work. And the second reason also is to stay in motion. I mean, of course, this goes kind of all together, you know. Of course, if you want to keep a rhythm, you need to keep in motion. And it's pretty much the same reason why when you see boxers or MMA fighters in the cage, they're always kind of like dancing around with their feet. And it's the same thing, you know. You don't want to be static and then start forging again, and then be static and then start forging again. And the third thing is to actually make use of the rebound of the anvil, because if I want to pick up this hammer from down here, up here, you know, I have to do a certain amount of work, and I can ease that up by actually just, you know, tapping the hammer on the anvil and using that rebound, you know, kind of like with a basketball. If you take a basketball and, you know, it's on the ground and you start like this and it starts jumping and it continues jumping more and more, and, you know, and then you can just, you know, play with the basketball at normal standing height. And it's the same with the hammer, you know. If you give it a little tap, you know, it's a lot easier to lift it up. And that's basically the three reasons, you know, to make use of rhythm, to stay in motion and, you know, keep the muscles moving and the tools moving, you know, so you don't freeze up. And the third reason is in order to make use of rebound, to pick up the hammer easier. Let me demonstrate this really quickly here. Let's say I want to forge something like a leaf, you know. I get my rhythm and I start out by just tapping the hammer. Now it lifts up and I can start forging. So now that I have a tip, I want to change the position of the material. So I start and now again I want to reposition my material. So I stay in rhythm and start working here. As you can see, when I want to look at the material, when I want to change the position of the material, think of my next step, correct something, you know. In order to stay in motion, I'm just tapping the anvil with the hammer so it doesn't go dead, and I always have to pick it up, you know, or like rest it in the air. This is all very like this hammer can get pretty heavy. It's not a very heavy hammer, but like if I would have to like stop it in mid-air and then kind of like pick it up from mid-air and start forging again, you know, it's just a lot easier to just, you know, bounce it, you know, like a bouncing ball, and make use of those physics, you know. And that's why blacksmiths tap their hammer on the anvil.